Alright, welcome back. I am trying some different volume settings. First episode, the background music was just way too loud, and I was talking a little bit too softly to really be fully heard. I've adjusted some settings so hopefully the music isn't too overpowering compared to my voice. But we're gonna start off a second episode here with Bloodstained Hands. So, last episode, we started the game, went through the intro cutscene. The Empire took away our brother, Matthew, and his girlfriend, Mia. Took away most of the citizens of Sienna, as well as our friend Gray, who we now have back. We were saved by assassins, became a member of their guild, went through a whole training sequence, and then completed our first mission, which was to free the prisoners of Sienna, which included Gray, who is now in our party. And we have now returned to the guild. We've explained everything that's happening to Gray. He's agreed to come with us, although somewhat begrudgingly. And now we will, we're about to accept our next mission, so let's talk to the guildmaster. Are you ready to accept your next mission? Yes, sir. Have you heard of Amydala? Amydala, that's the village south here. It's surrounded by a dense wood known as the Caeli Forest. Correct. There is a sergeant of General Gareth's hiding in the forest. I believe he was sent to limit trade between Amethyne and Amydala. We need Amethyne on our side. If you kill the sergeant terrorizing Amydala, trade between the two can flow freely once more, and we'll have them in our debt. Is your mission clear? Infiltrate the Caeli Forest, track down the sergeant, and take his life. I understand, sir, although I have some questions if you would allow it. Proceed. First, why are we helping Amethyne? Isn't Amethyne a part of Alithia? Not anymore. When Cain took the throne, he had the support of Dawn, Astrid, and Gareth, but he could not gain Samson's favor. Samson managed to secede from the Empire, taking his land and his legions with him, declaring himself king. Cain only has 3 generals serving him now. How large is Samson's army? Each general leads an army of 6 legions. Captains are assigned to lead each legion, which are divided into platoons. The platoons are led by lieutenants. Each lieutenant has a number of sergeants that answer to them, and each sergeant runs a squad. The squads are comprised of the basic infantry soldiers. They were likely the ones you faced at the prison. Regardless, Crown Law prohibits any general from raising more than 6 legions. A rather sizable force, nonetheless. 6 legions. Yeah, I see why you want Samson's support. You had other questions? I did. What would Amethyne want from Amydala? Why set up a trade route with such a small village? Amydala is the source of most herbs in the Alithian Empire. You may not know this, but herbs are the key ingredients in most medicines. Medicine is vital for a strong army. Is there anything else you wish to know? One more question. There's just one obstacle on my path, the river. How am I supposed to cross it? Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. One of the villages you freed has a boat that he has been trying to sell. Perhaps you could buy it from him. Understood. Then go now. See Amydala free, and with it, Amethyne soon to be in our debt. Yes, master. Your will, my blade. Alright, before we get going, I am going to spend a little bit of time grinding against a training dummy. Not necessarily... the only reason why... Oh, sorry, 1 second. Let me just mute that. There we go, good. I just want to get... Oh, what happened to the freeze? No, okay, we're good. Okay, there's some weird lagging going on here. I just want to get these assassin skills ranked up. Because we are going to be using them a little bit more moving forward, but as it stands right now, they're a little bit weak. So we're just going to grind up the levels on these, and we're going to, I think for both... Yeah, Ice 1, Fire 1, Cauterize 1, and Venom 1, we're going to get those ranked up. So I'm actually just going to pause the recording, and I will come back when those are level 2. Alright, we're back. I also spent just a little bit of time using Focus to top our MP, and there we go. So when you use a skill enough times, it will rank up immediately to level 2. We got Cauterize to level 2, and Ice and Venom to level 2. We skipped Fire, and the reason why is because we're going to be using Fire a lot in the forest, so it should rank up normally. We actually cannot rank it up past level 2 yet. It does say in the corner here, uses 0 out of 10. After 10 uses, it will rank up once we hit level 10. At level 4, it can't go past... It's basically every 10 character levels, you can upgrade each of your skills by 2 spell levels. So by level 10, we can go up to level 4 with our spells. But anyway, that's enough of that. Yeah, okay, we're good to go. Let's head around Sienna a little bit, talk to some of the civilians now that we've freed them from the prison. They may have a few different things to say. And we'll also want to stop at the shop and probably grab a few items, because I don't think we have anything. Oh, we have 1 medicine. That's not... We might actually be okay. Oh, okay, so the pub is closed until noon. It's... Okay, we only have about 45 minutes there, so... each in-game minute is 1 real-time second, so that won't take too long. Let's stop at the shop and buy some supplies here. I don't think we need too much. I'll go with 1 stimulant just in case. 1 remedy per person, or sorry, 1 medicine per person, and a remedy for Gray. That should be good. I don't think we'll need too much. Still early dungeon, so it shouldn't be too challenging. But let's go around and chat with everybody. I don't ever want to be scared again, even the bugs that bite me down. Yeah, okay, just generic NPC dialogue. There is one person we do want to talk to specifically, though. And she's in here. Oh my gosh, is that you, Rain? I barely recognized you. Are you the one that released us from that prison? Gosh, you sure grew up. I know it isn't much, but please, take this. It's the least I can do to repay you for helping us all out. 500 gold. I saw some wanted posters for you. Don't worry, no one in Sienna would ever sell you out. Not after what you did for us. Just be careful, okay? I worry about you, you know. I know that you're not the same young kid that grew up here, but you'll always have a home in Sienna. Yeah, so she's the only one who really gives us anything for freeing them from the prison. Frame rate's a little slow today. So, for those of you that follow my game development channel, this is actually part of why I haven't really been able to do a lot of work on Thrall, is just because my computer is really struggling right now. It's old. It's, I think, from 2011, so it's maybe 2012, but it's an old computer, and it is very laggy, and right now I'm finding that it is not capable of keeping up with the hardware capabilities that I need to actually fully develop Thrall. Anyway, hey, you're the one who rescued me from the prison. I've got an offer for you. I would only make this offer to you, so think carefully about it. I used to be an adventurer. Did I make this guy Scottish before? I probably did. I don't care. I'm not doing it. I used to be an adventurer. However, I've had my fill of mountains and forests, and I'm looking to settle down. I still have a boat that I used to get across the river to the south, but I don't need it anymore. I've been trying to find someone to sell it to, but either no one wanted it or I didn't think they'd treat it right. But you look responsible enough, and you have the look of an adventurer. You also saved me from that prison. So I was wondering if you'd like to buy it. I'll give you a nice discount. What do you say to 800 gold? Sure. Thank you. I'll have it set up for you outside. There we go. Okay, so now we can cross the river. While we're here, let's just play a little minigame. This is a simple little dice game that I included, where basically you pair up with somebody in your party. You can wager up to 99 gold, which not really a huge amount, but you can choose if you want to roll first or second. I'm going to choose to roll first, and how this works, you roll 2 dice. If you roll a 1, your turn immediately passes to your opponent. If you don't roll a 1, you add up the total on the dice, and that gets added to your score. You can then choose, do you want to re-roll again or pass? If you pass, whatever points you accumulated that turn gets saved, and if you roll again, then you can keep adding onto your score. But if you roll a 1, you lose all your points that you rolled that turn, and then it gets passed to your opponent. And the first person to 50 point wins. So I just rolled a 1, so I have to pass, and now Marissa rolls. And she also rolled a 1. Okay, and if you roll doubles, you get a little bonus dialogue. So 6 points. I'm going to roll again. Oh, shoot. Okay. Oh, Marissa's just as unlucky. Okay, this is... Oh, Marissa got doubles. And, oh, okay, no. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, I'm just gonna keep the 8 points. Marissa got 5, and she passes. So the higher your score, if your score is higher than your opponent, they have a higher chance of rolling twice in a row, or multiple times, until they have enough points to surpass your score. Oh, for crying out loud. But if they pass you in points, then it's kind of like a 50-50 thing. Yeah. And it's usually they try to roll until they've got about 10 points before they pass. Oh, jeez. I am going to lose to Marissa here. So I got 6, 15. Let's do one more. Ugh. 7, and she's rolling again. 18. Jeez, okay, she's going to kick my butt here if I don't. I basically have to catch up all in one here. 4 plus 13. I need 42. Let's just keep going. 19. Nope. She rolls pretty much anything and she's going to beat me now. Yeah, she wins. Oh well. That's just a fun little minigame you can play at any of the pubs around the world. There's not... I think there's 3 pubs, and they all have that little minigame. It's nothing fancy, but it's just a little break. I've gotten better at making pub game minigames, though, but you can check those out when Thrall comes out. Alright, we're going to cross the river. Alright. No encounters on the water, so there's at least some safe places in the world. I'm going to do one more thing just real quick here. I noticed it when I was doing the training. I'm going to turn the battle background music off. I personally prefer the more flowing music, how the background music kind of transitions into the battle and it doesn't get interrupted and restart every time. And frankly, I don't really care for the battle music that I actually chose for this game. Originally, this game never was supposed to have battle music. Yeah. Okay, and now we've got finally our actual first real touch encounters. I'm going to save my overdrive for a slightly tougher encounter, because these guys aren't too tough. Assuming I can bloody hit them. There we go. I'm going to try a flurry. There we go. That was unnecessary, but alright. Red herbs and green herbs. Marissa's level 5. Let's check this bush. There's herbs on this bush. Let's harvest them. Green herb. So herbs will come into play fairly soon here. You'll kind of see what the usage of those are. Oh, there was an enemy hidden behind the trees there. Okay, let's use a overdrive on these wasps. 2, 3. Nice. I'm still going to save Marissa's overdrive, because I think Gray should be able to one-shot the wasp with fire. Oh, not quite. Okay, finish off the ant. Oh, I missed. Or I didn't do enough. Okay. Well, it took more hits than I wanted there, but that's alright. Okay. So, if you get too close to these enemies, they change from a red or blue fireball to a red fireball. They will chase you for a certain distance. Their pathfinding is not great, but once they've chased you a certain distance, they'll stop chasing you, and you can sneak around them if you want, but they're usually faster than you, so it's kind of hard to avoid them. But at least you can see them coming. Like, I could lure it into a wall here and then just walk past them, but I actually do want the XP, so we're gonna fight every enemy as they come across. Alright. Leaves most enemies with 1% HP, or powerful slash that never misses. I think Impale can finish one of these guys off in one shot, so we're just gonna use Impale. But we may use Imperil a little bit later. There's a boss that we could fight that I think that I think Imperil would be a good choice to use against. And I'll show you what I mean. Usually, any skills that deal damage based on the percentage of an enemy's health don't work against bosses, for what I hope is obvious reasons. Alright, you know what, I'm just gonna save before I do this. I don't want to save scum this, but if I really mess it up. Nice, okay. Shadow Cloak. Alright, let's equip that to Fang. More defense and agility, and a little more evasion. I'm just realizing that the green numbers probably don't show up very well on the green window skin, but it's fine. You know what? Let's use Gray's Overdrive on Marissa. Give her Bliss. Oh, you're kidding. Really? Okay. Yeah, let's just use fire. I don't even think that's gonna fire off. Oh, well, it is now. Okay. Done. Now Marissa's got her overdrive again, so the next time we face a tough enemy, we can just have her finish it off. Marissa's taken quite a bit of damage though, so we're gonna have to be a little bit careful here, make sure that we heal her up if she gets too low on health. Purple herb, nice. Frame rate is tanking right now, that's not great. Versus level 6, okay. Yeah, I don't know why the frame rate's so bad in the forest here. I shouldn't be walking this slow, I know that. Oh, wait a sec, maybe that's why. No, never mind. I thought maybe it was getting close to sundown. Okay, so I'm gonna use Impale against this guy. Nice. One shot. Killer Ant done. Blue herb, gold herb, and yellow herb. Nice. Alright, let's check what's in this chest. Nice. Bronze kunai. So, we're gonna equip that to Fang. So it does a little bit less damage, has a little less attack, but it has 4% more crit. But the nice thing is, you can dual wield. So, now I have 2 knives, and my attack is 72. Still a little bit lower than Marissa's with her katana, but now we should be able to keep up a little bit better. And I'm going to put the kunai in weapon 1, because when you use throw dagger, it is your weapon 1 that is thrown with the animation, and I'll kind of show that right away here. Okay, so if I just use throw dagger, he ends up throwing the kunai, since that's in his first, in his main hand. The stats don't really change necessarily, it's just a visual thing, but yeah. Okay, Gray will use fire on that. That's ignited, that may burn to death. The health bars are behind the icon, so I can't quite tell. Let's just see, we'll try that, and okay, yeah. Good, okay. Green herb, alright. Okay, let's head out this way first, because this is Amardala. Alright. So, let's go talk to some of the villagers first. We'll stock up on some new equipment. Amardala doesn't get many visitors. We're a little out of the way. It's a shame, there aren't many eligible bachelors out here. I'm sure the Celestials have a plan for my future, I just wish I could see it. There's gotta be someone out there for me. Oh, there's someone here. My daughter moved to Amethyne last year. Amethyne, I always say, yeah. With Gareth's soldiers stealing from the villagers, I'm glad she's not here right now. I think she just got tired of living in a cave. The homes are comfortable enough, but it's not exactly a luxurious life. Alright, let's go check over here. Got our item shop. Don't really think we're going to need too many items, but let's just see what he's got for sale. He's got bait. That could be handy. With this, it basically just makes it so that enemies never get aggroed, and they never chase you. And if you've got random encounters turned on, it just disables random encounters for, I think it's 150 steps. So it's like the repel item from the Pokemon series. Alright, let's see what you got for sale. Bronze sword, can't use that. The bronze dagger would give us more attack but take away our crit. Katana, staff, sword wakizashi. We're good for weapons right now, I think. We could give Marissa a Cuirass so that she gets a bit more defense, but her agility would suffer for it. Let's just do this. 2 headbands. 1 pair of gloves for Marissa. And we'll go with a headband for Gray, but I'm not going to buy him gloves. And you'll see why when we get to the end of the forest. It's only +5 spirit anyway, so it's not like a massive stat increase. But, yeah, you'll see why I'm not going to give him the gloves in a moment. Alright, let's go over here first. Is there a guy here? Yeah, there he is. Amidala is one of the most peaceful villages in Lithia. With what's going on in the capital, I hope it can stay this way. I actually used to be a soldier in my youth. I moved here to get away from the chaos of it all. Living in harmony with nature has done wonders for my health. Alright, and in we go. We're going to be paying this house a couple visits throughout the game. Would you like to buy some herbs? She sells green, red, and blue herbs. Hey, did you know all medicines are made from herbs? I have a spare alchemy kit if you want it. You can combine herbs to make potions, and the herbs themselves cost a fraction of what the potions would sell for. Or you could use the potions yourself. Would you like the alchemy kit? Yeah. Excellent, here it is. See the alchemy kit? Now, I'll tell you about recipe pages. It used to be that you could find a recipe book for potions anywhere, but now they're incredibly rare and hard to find. By finding recipe pages, you can make new potions. Unfortunately, the recipes are written on multiple pages, so you need to have the pages in order if you want to make the potion specified on the page. In other words, if you have pages 1 and 3 but not page 2, you can only make the potion specified on page 1. To make the potion specified on page 3, you'd need page 2. To gather all the pages, if you gather all the pages, you can form a book out of them and save space in your inventory. Imagine that, owning one of the world's rarest recipe books. You don't need recipes to make potions, though, but without the pages, you're limited to the most basic of potions. You can only make the smallest form of potions and remedies. To make medicine, you need 1 red herb and 1 green herb. To make a remedy, you need 1 blue herb and 1 green herb. You can make these without any recipes. So, if we go to our crafting tab in our inventory and use the alchemy kit, we can now make medicines and remedies from those herbs we've been gathering. So, I think we got 7 green herbs and a couple red and blue. So, we'll just make as many medicines as we can and as many remedies as we can. And we still have a couple green herbs left for if we find more red and blue herbs. I'm actually tempted to buy a couple green herbs so that if we do find an abundance of red and blue, we can just craft them into medicines right away. Oh! I forgot something. No, I don't want to buy herbs. Hey, do you think you'd help me with something? What do you need? Over the years, I've learned how to grow and cultivate red, blue, and green herbs. I've found other kinds of herbs, but I've never had enough samples to test what conditions are necessary to grow them. If you could bring me samples of different kinds of herbs, I can make it with your while, and I'll be able to start growing and selling all kinds of herbs. What do you think? Could you help me with this? Sure. How many herbs do you need? Awesome. If you could bring me 10 purple herbs, 10 yellow herbs, and 3 gold herbs, I think that would be enough. Where would I find them? Some of the colorful bushes in the Caeli Forest have herbs growing on them. You can harvest all sorts of herbs there, and they'll grow back in a couple of days. Also, monsters will occasionally forage herbs for food. Defeat enough monsters, and I bet you'll find what you need. Sounds good. I'll be back when I have enough herbs. Okay, so now, if we get 10 each of the yellow and purple herbs and 3 of the gold herbs, okay, it is sundown, and we bring them back to her, we'll get a nice little reward, which we can actually see right here. The reward, 1 ultimate medicine and 1 ultimate remedy, but in addition to that, she will be able to start selling those herbs. I love picking flowers. There's so many around here. I want to pick flowers in the Caeli Forest, but Mommy says it's too dangerous. I bet flowers are really pretty, though. What time is it? It's 7:15. Okay, we got enough time to visit this one house here before it turns to night. I've been wanting to get a nice gift for my girlfriend, but there's not much in the way of material things in this village. Something shiny would be nice. Now that red text is actually important. That's a mission for way later in the game. We'll get to that around like episode 30 or whatever. I don't know how many episodes this is gonna be, but yeah, that's a ways away. Frame rate's really bad right now. I think I want to make it daytime. Supposedly there's a hidden treasure somewhere in this village. Personally, I don't believe it. I'll tell you what, though, if I ever found a hidden treasure, I'd be more inclined to use it than sell it. Where else would you get something like that around here? He is not wrong, and we are going to actually go and find that, because I know where it is. It's a little bit easier to spot when it's nighttime. Something about the way that the screen is tinted makes it more visible. But essentially, you want to go over here to this house, slip between these trees, and it is in the top left corner. So you want to go around this vine all the way to the left, walk up, and activate, and you'll find a chest here. Okay, we're pretty close to the... Nice! Okay, and we found a life tome. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give this to Gray. It has literally 0 stats. Like, it does not increase his attack or spirit at all. But what it does is it teaches him Life 1, which cannot be used from the menu yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the village. We're just going to wander around outside for a little bit here. And it is officially nighttime. And we're going to take care of one of these enemies. And now Gray, I'm going to have him use Life 1, which won't have an animation because it doesn't have a valid target, because it can only target incapacitated allies. And while I'm doing this, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time raising Cauterize, and we only need to use this 5 times for it to level up. And then once we're done this, we're going to go back into the village and rest up and heal. But we might as well grind up Cauterize a little bit while we're at it. And one more. Here we go. And I think we can actually just, yeah. And Gray's learned Life 2, which means that is now permanently in his spell list, and we no longer need the tome. So, we will re-equip his staff. And Gray is the only mage in the game that can actually learn Life 1, so we will sell this tome. And the nice thing about tomes is that once you know the spell, you know the spell. But in addition to that, they sell for a lot of money. The tomes themselves are very, very expensive, because essentially it's a way to permanently give yourself a new spell. So the value of them is quite high. But that means that if you didn't buy the tome, and you just found the tome, and you sell it, that's a nice little paycheck there. So we're going to sleep at the inn, rest up. I'm really hoping that it being daytime and not having any screen tints will clean up the frame rate a bit. It looks like that's done a little bit, so that's good. So we're just going to stop in at the shop. We're going to sell this tome, and I don't think we're going to buy any more equipment or medicines or anything like that. I will sell this outdated clothing, though. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. And the tome sells for 1,750 gold, so we just more than double our gold there, and that's fantastic. Alright, now let's carry on through the Caeli Forest, see if we can find this sergeant that we've been sent to kill. And while we're at it, let's see if we can find those herbs that we need. How many do we need? We have 3 purple, 2 yellow, and a gold. So it's going to take a little while to get the ones that we need. Hopefully we'll find some along the way. I am going to save my overdrive because there's a boss fight coming up. Ooh. Okay, that hurt. Yeah, let's... Oh. Beautiful. Okay, that saves us a lot of trouble. Gold herbs are always the hardest to find, so the fact that we already have 3 and we just found 2 in one encounter, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Use a couple medicines on Marissa. And there's a purple herb. Awesome. Okay, this maybe won't take us... Oh, hold on. What's this? Found a toxin. All right. Yeah, the fact that we already found those gold herbs is going to make this way more streamlined. And there's a yellow. Okay, we are on it. Wasp and an ant. I'm just going to let Gray use fire. There we go. I would like to have fire leveled up before we leave. Another yellow herb. Awesome. And stimulant. Nice. Alrighty. What is this? Blue. Okay. Screw it. I'm just gonna use velocity. These guys are hefty. I'm not gonna mess around with them. I know there's a boss fight coming up, but we're just gonna... Yeah, these guys are beefy. MP damage, and let's see. Good. Nice. Okay. All right. Yellow herb. Nice. Beauty. Okay. Okay, and here's the Caeli Grove. Before we get into this fight, let's check this. I get that you guys are fighting to the death. I don't care. Sleep badge, and this is why we did not buy gloves for Gray, because the gloves would have given a +5 spirit bonus, but so does the sleep badge, and the sleep badge also prevents him from falling asleep, which there is a move that this guy can use if he uses an overdrive that can potentially inflict sleep. There's also another boss coming up that has sleep magic, so it's a useful thing to have right now. Don't just stand there, help me! Excuse me. Okay, let's do this. Gareth Sargent emerged. Alright. And we have somebody on our team now. Let's see. Yeah, we'll try power attack. Okay. Let's go fire. Learn fire 2. And now he's called for reinforcements and done a bit of healing, so we're going to keep focusing on the Sergeant, because these guys are all just soldiers. They're basically the same difficulty as the guys that we were fighting in the prison. And I'm going to use Arrow Storm. Hits all enemies for reduced damage. But against those guys, that's all we really need. So we're going to try to focus the main guy and let the Arrow Storm take out those guys. There we go. Pretty sure we can throw dagger. Yep, finish him off. Missed. There we go. Done.
Thank you for your help. May I ask your name? I'm Fang.
This is Gray and Marissa. Who are you?
Sebastian. Nice to meet you. I'm the captain of the 2nd Legion in Amethyne. What about you? Where are you from? You're not one of the locals. We've come from Sienna. It's just north of here, past the edge of the forest. Sienna? What business would anyone from Sienna have all the way out here?
I could ask you the same question. Isn't Amethyne across the ocean?
Huh. Good point. Why don't we head back to Amidala? We can talk more there. It's not safe here. Good idea. So, you're from Sienna. Then why are you here? It's a long way just to sightsee. We're traveling mercenaries. I heard about the trouble in Amerdala and came to investigate. But what's a captain of Amethyne doing across the ocean? Orders from my king. You see, we had a trade route set up here. We send certain goods, and in exchange we get herbs for potions. Yes, I had heard as much. I assume the trade route was disrupted by the presence of the soldier? You'd be right. That soldier was one of General Gareth's sergeants. He had been sent to limit trade between Amerdala and Amethyne. How did he do that? Simple. He confiscated all trade goods, preventing Amerdala from sending anything unless it was approved by him first. Brilliant move, tactically speaking. In what way? Amerdala is neutral territory. It isn't held by any one general. As a result, it can trade freely with any other land. The highest quality medicines are only grown here. Every army in Alithia gets their medicine supplied from Amerdalan herbs. When Cain took the throne, Amethyne became an enemy of the Empire. Amethyne is too well defended to simply take through force, so Cain assigned Gareth the task of cutting us off from our supplies. Without medicine, we'd be crippled. And since Gareth is loyal to Cain, he'd still allow Amerdala to trade with other lands, putting you at a severe disadvantage. Precisely. When we found out what was happening, my king sent me to rectify the problem. All by yourself? The king must have good faith in your abilities. I do command a small unit of archers, but they're not that useful in a one-on-one fight. Much better suited to large-scale warfare. At any rate, Gareth's men turn out to be more dangerous than we thought. If you hadn't arrived when you did, I'd likely be dead by now. It was nothing. We couldn't just leave you to die. Although I am curious, how did you get here? Do you own a ship, or was one provided to you by your king? King Samson gave me a ship and crew with enough supplies to get me here and back. If you need passage to Amethyne, I'm sure I could bring you along. I'm sure there's work for me in Amethyne somewhere, but I'll have to make some arrangements first. How long are you here for? I'll be here for a few days yet. Go! Do what you must, and I'll be here when you return. If you're not back within a week, I'll be leaving. Perfect. I'll be back shortly. If there are any missions in Amethyne, I can get Sebastian to take me there. I should check with the Guildmaster first. Alright, and away we go. Yeah. Are you the one that killed the soldier in the forest? Yes. Why do you ask? We owe you a great debt. That soldier had been taking so much from our people. If you hadn't stopped him, we might all have starved. If you ever need anything, all you need to do is ask. Oh, well, it was nothing. We owe you our lives. I'll spread the word to everyone in the village of your good deed. Hey, Marissa. Yeah, Fang? What's up? How does the Guildmaster plan on getting the necessary potions to take down an empire? That's a good question. You think this had something to do with it? It can't just be a coincidence. Why send us here to deal with that soldier? This isn't enough to get Amethyne in our debt. There's something else at play here. You're right. Besides, Amethyne had already sent someone to deal with this. Maybe this was more about Amerdala? Makes sense. Should we confront him about it? I wouldn't. He might not like it if we question his motives. Besides, you're probably right. Where else would he get enough potions to keep us going? I won't say anything, but I sure want to. We should be getting back, though. I'm sure he's waiting to hear from us. Agreed. Okay, before we leave, let's just double check how many herbs we have. Okay, 4 purple, 5 yellow. So we'll try to get some more on the way back to Sienna and see how many that leaves us with. And then I may do a little bit of off-screen grinding for the rest, but we'll see. Now, a day has passed since we were here the first time. Remember when we slept in the inn? So I believe all the herbs that we harvested from the bushes on the way between Sienna and Amerdala, I think we can harvest them again. Let's check. Yes, we can. Purple, sweet. Okay. So yeah, after, basically on the day that you harvest herbs, they grow back the next day, like after midnight, basically. And it's a way for you to not necessarily get infinite herb. I mean, yeah, technically you can, but it's all luck-based and it's a fairly slow process, but it's basically a way of getting renewable herbs. Gray learned a new spell there, I think. Yeah, he learned Lightning 1. Okay. Alright, let's get back to the Sanctuary. I think we're just going to do the one mission today. We may... You know what? We'll go a little bit further.
I don't want to actually do the next mission, but I want to at least explore the next town. Wow, another gold herb, nice. Yeah, I do want to at least explore the next town, if not do the next mission. Yellow herb, nice. And we'll save that for another day. Red and green herbs. I wonder, can I just one-shot the bird with the... Nice. Okay. I think the reason why I was able to take that bird out in one shot, unless I'm mistaken, yeah, it, as you can see in the top right corner there, it actually is weak to daggers. It's kind of hidden behind the letter, but daggers deal bonus damage to certain winged creatures. So I can quite literally just use throw dagger and... Oh, a hair of health. Yellow herb, nice. I know what's in front of me, so I'm just gonna do something here. Use a couple medicines, use 2 remedies. I have 3 green herbs. I'm gonna turn them all into medicines. And I'm actually... No, this should be good. And just to be safe, I'm gonna save right here. Something isn't right here. Marissa? Listen. I don't hear anything. Exactly. Even the wildlife is quiet. You're right, that's eerie. We need to get out of here. I think we're being watched. Alright, we're almost out anyway. Let's hurry. Look out! Ah! Alright, time for our first real boss fight. Marissa took a little bit of a hit there. I'm actually going to focus on using Venom with her, because I think that might do more damage than her base attacks. And Gray, just spam fire as much as you can. Let's just see. Okay, Marissa fell asleep. That's not good. Huh. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, Velocity. Yeah, let's do that. Nice, I think I got a crit on that first strike. And since I have Bliss, I'm just going to use that right away so that I can double up and use Velocity one more time. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Alright, fire 2. Marissa, you need to wake up, please. There we go. Oof. Nice. Alright, that's all we need. Yeah, doubling up on the overdrives and spamming fire. All we needed. 1000 XP. Marissa and Gray are both level 9. Marissa, are you alright? Yeah, that thing got me good. I'll be fine, though. Glad you're okay. Let's return to the sanctuary. We can rest and treat our wounds there. Sounds good. Thanks, Fang. Alright, yeah, Fang's a little behind. He's only level 8. That is by design, though. I forgot about that. Fang levels up a little bit slower than the rest of the party. And the reason for that is actually because once there will come a point in the game where we get to actually freely switch out our party members. We have more than 4 and we can alternate them out, but Fang always stays in the party. So to kind of keep him from severely over-leveling the rest of the party, he scales a little bit slower than everybody else. And the reason why that's important is because on New Game Plus, enemy levels are scaled to Fang's level. So if he's over-leveled and everybody else is under-leveled, then the rest of the party's going to struggle. So that's kind of why Fang is a little bit behind right now.
Okay, well, now that we're back here, let me check one thing real quick. 15 lockpicks. I think that's enough. Yeah. Let's chat with this guy real quick. No work, but I think that'll change once we turn in this mission. So let's turn in the mission to the Guildmaster. You're back. Is the sergeant dead? Yes, he's dead. Excellent. Here's your payment. 2,000 gold. Something's wrong. What troubles you? Nothing. It's just... How does this put Amethyne in our favor? This doesn't seem enough. And they had already sent someone to deal with the problem. So, you noticed, did you? We helped those people unfold the Empire, but one sergeant isn't very significant. There was another purpose. Was this about Amardala? You're more clever than I initially took you for. You're absolutely correct. Amardala was the main target here. Can you figure out why? For the same reason that Amethyne set up a trade route with them. You need potions, and they can give you the necessary ingredients. Well done. I apologize for keeping this from you, but I didn't want you to think I was exploiting a small village only for their resources. No, I understand. We need medicine. Now we have a reliable source. You made the right call. But this means we still need Amethyne's support. You are correct. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do from here, and we have not the means to reach them directly. Ah, then perhaps I can be of service. I met someone in Amardala by the name of Sebastian. He's a captain of Amethyne who was sent to deal with the sergeant. Really? And why is this relevant? It's relevant because he's offered to take me back to Amethyne. If you have any work for me there, I can do it now. I see. I do have a mission there, one that is quite important. It is quite difficult, however, and I would rather send someone more experienced. I doubt he would take someone he doesn't recognize. If anyone is going, it should be me. Very well. In that case, your mission is to reopen the pass between Amethyne and the Five Islands region. Despite being a part of the Empire, the Five Islands do occasionally associate with Amethyne. That aside, we need access to the Five Islands for the next stage of our plan. Unfortunately, the only known passage has recently been blocked by a landslide. This landslide was caused by General Gareth's men in order to isolate Amethyne. So what do you need me to do? Recently, a skilled engineer arrived in Amethyne. He is capable of crafting high-potency explosives, but he requires a special ingredient to do so. That ingredient is known as niter powder and can only be found at the peak of Mount Fulman. You are to acquire this powder and bring it to this engineer. While you are doing this, you must also kill the soldiers responsible for the landslide to ensure this incident is not repeated. They are camped at the peak of the mountains. Supposedly, there was a steam-powered elevator that would carry passengers and materials to the peak of the mountain. Due to the presence of the soldiers, it is unusable. Once you've killed the soldiers, you should be able to use the elevator to return to the base of the mountain. Use explosives to clear the mountain pass, then return here. Is your mission clear? Yes, sir. Good. Now, you say this man is Amardala, the one who agreed to take you to Amethyne? Yes. Why do you ask? I will prepare a carriage to take you through the Caeli Forest. Let me know when you're ready to depart. Thank you, sir. Your will, my blade. Cutscene time. Well, what is it? Come on, Marissa. You sent Gray out because you wanted to talk. What was it about? I don't really know how to say it. Marissa. Since we started traveling together, I've realized something. Oh? What have you realized? You always make it seem so easy. Talking to Sebastian, dealing with those villagers, leading us through the forest. All that just comes naturally to you. It's not as easy as it looks. But you still do it. I've always been a follower. I've never taken the lead on anything. That's not true. When we were feeding the people of Siena, you jumped forward to protect that child. That was different. He was only a child. I couldn't let him get hurt. I know what it's like to be a scared little kid. I always worked alone before you showed up. I don't have any friends. You're the first friend I've ever had. Me and Gray haven't really gotten to know each other yet, but I can tell he just thinks of me as a killer. But you treat me with kindness. You seem to care about what happens to me. You're the first person to do that since... Of course I care about what happens to you. Marissa, you were the first person I felt I could actually trust after the Emperor took my family away. And what about Shadow? Not even him. He may have saved my life and he may have trained me, but I don't trust him. He takes this work too seriously. If the Guildmaster asked him to kill me, he'd do it, in a heartbeat. I suppose he would. He may be a decent guy, but his loyalty to the Guildmaster is unwavering. Yeah. We all need someone who can trust. I'm just glad I can rely on you. Hey, Fang, can I call you Rain? I don't think that's a good idea.
I'll only call you Rain when we're alone or around people who already know your name, such as Gray or your brother. I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. Sure, you can call me Rain. Thank you. You know, I really look up to you. You're different from the others. Yeah. This isn't exactly how I picture my life turning out. I'm glad to be different. Me too. Thanks for listening, Rain. Of course, I'm here anytime you need me. Thank you. We should get some rest. We'll need to be feeling fresh for tomorrow. Good idea. Good night, Marissa. Good night, Rain. Alright. Let's... Before we talk to the Guildmaster... 1 second here. Hold on. Let me check. 6, 7, and 4. A little ways away. Okay, we're fully healed. That's good. I feel like I'm forgetting something and I don't know what. Oh! Okay, let's talk to this guy now. I've heard that the bartender at the pub in Amethyne complaining about bandits. Might be worth looking into. Oh, right, okay. One more thing. So, there is an exploit you can do at this exact point in the game. You cannot do this at any other point, but there's a way to get maximum number of lockpicks, 99 lockpicks, for free. So, I'm gonna show how that's done. The red, green, and blue assassins offer side missions, which we went over last episode. This guy offers missions related to lockpicking. So if you take a mission from him, since you've been to Amerdala and the Caeli Forest, there are 2 locations that you could be assigned missions. So if I say, looking for mission, yes, I can use some extra coin. What have you got? There's a mission in Amerdala. What do you need me to acquire? I got a tip about a powerful weapon that's been stored away. If you ask me, weapons are meant to be used, not mounted as a trophy. If that weapon were retrieved, we'd be better off for it. But locks won't stand a chance. I'll be back soon. Now, because I don't ever want players to get stuck, let's say you have 0 gold and you sell all your stuff to deliberately soft lock the game, you wouldn't be able to buy lockpicks. But because you have a mission active, you also can't earn money until you finish that mission. If you have no lockpicks and no money, what do? You talk to this guy, and he will give you lockpicks. And if you take 99, your lockpick is reduced by, I believe it is 5 gold per lockpick. Like, basically, you're buying lockpicks from him. But whatever your reward would be is going to be reduced by however many lockpicks you take. So if you take 99, keep in mind your reward will be decreased by 495 gold. Here's the thing. We have a way of ditching that mission, which I will actually show in this episode. But for now, let's talk to the Guildmaster. You ready to leave Amerdala? Yes. Excellent. See you when you get back. And here we are. Oh, it's raining. Okay. Before we go any further, I'm going to go back into the Caeli Forest. I'm going to collect 4 more purple and 3 more yellow herbs so we can finish that mission. But I'm not going to bore you with that on recording, so I'm just going to pause the recording, go back into the Caeli Forest, get the herbs we need to finish the mission, and then I will be back. So give me one moment here. Alright, there we go. Got the last of the herbs there. Yellow and 2 purple. I actually found quite a few yellow herbs. I think I'm up to 13 now. Yeah, 13 yellow. And I even found 2 more gold herbs, which, genuinely, they are not that common. They think there's only a 5% chance of them dropping from the killer ants and one more type of enemy, which we haven't seen yet, which is the queen ant. And that's it. Those are the only enemies that drop them. And the bushes, again, only a 5% chance of it being a gold herb. So they are quite rare. But we got all the herbs we need, so let's start by going... Oh yeah, the NPCs have different dialogue when it rains. Rain makes all the flowers smell really nice. Nothing like a nice, refreshing rain to wash away all the negativity. This is what peace is truly about. At least the NPCs outside have different things to say when it rains. Would you like to buy some herbs? Yes? No? Maybe... Oh, hold on. We have 5 blue and 2 red, and only 5 green. Let's buy 12 green herbs. There we go. Found the herbs I asked for? Yes, you're there. 10 purple, 10 yellow, 3 gold. All at once? You're efficient. Looks like that's all of them. Thank you so much. I'll have these set up for sale as soon as I figure out how to grow them. Here, I want you to have these. An ultimate medicine and an ultimate remedy. And she apparently figures out how to grow them right away because we have them already. Now, I am going to immediately convert my red and blue herbs to medicines and remedies, but I'm going to keep about 10 green herbs on hand for when I find more of those. Now, let's stop and pay a visit to Sebastian. I think we're going to go up until... We'll go to Amethyne, we'll go through Amethyne, and then we'll save just before we're ready to leave Amethyne to go to Mount Fulman. Are you going to Amethyne? Yes, it seems I am. Excellent. The ship is docked and ready just east of the village. When we get to Amethyne, I'll need to report back to my king. Very well, let's get going. Sebastian's joined the party. Before we go too far... and that exploit we did at the start that gave us that free iron sword is a nice little boost that we can give to Sebastian right away. So that's, he's the first one to get an iron weapon. It doesn't put him ridiculously far ahead. I mean, we're about to get access to iron weapons, but he would not have one. Right, okay, so this is where we would normally do that mission with the lockpicking, but we're not worried about that right now. So, one thing I want to do is give Sebastian a helmet, because I don't think you can buy those in Amethyne. So we'll just give him that now. There we go. Alright, let's set sail to Amethyne. We'll go through that city, gear up, check all the shops, talk to the NPCs, just kind of explore the town a bit, speak to the king, and then we'll save up just before we are about to head to Mount Fulman.
How are you faring? Used to the roll of the sea yet?
I'm managing.
Gray is about as seasick as it gets, though. He can be a bit fragile sometimes. He's not alone. It took me quite some time to adjust when I first started sailing. I wouldn't be too hard on him if I were you.
Fair enough. How far until we reach Amethyne?
It's not a terribly long journey. We won't be entering into deep water. We're not far from the coastline, even if you can't tell from here.
Good to know.
Do you think you could answer a couple questions about Amethyne for me?
Of course.
What would you like to know? I've never really taken interest in politics. I don't really understand how everything works in big cities. What's it like fighting in the legions? Well, you have to understand that Alithia has been at peace, relatively, for almost 2 centuries since the founding of the Empire. This is the first time we've truly faced open warfare. Gareth has been harassing us from the south ever since Cain took the throne. Gareth, one of Cain's generals, perhaps the most loyal among them. He's ruthless and effective. His lands are highly profitable. He has 2 port towns under his rule, both highly prosperous. Of course, the people hate him. He taxes them heavily and works them hard. But for all that, he has resources. It's been a struggle to keep his soldiers at bay. How has Amethyne managed to stay independent? Cain has 3 more generals under his command. You'd think he'd crush you. Amethyne is too well defended. The sea has high walls and the castle lies beyond them. Never mind the fact that both are surrounded by mountains. It would be too costly to take the city. And besides, we're not much of a threat. From a defensive position we can hold, but we can hardly move against Cain. Besides, Cain is focusing his attention elsewhere, possibly putting together enough strength to take the city without as much risk. Time is on his side. Makes sense. So you lead the 2nd Legion. Where are your men? I left 2 of my lieutenants and their platoons to secure Armadillo so that we won't have a repeat of what happened there. The rest are waiting in Amethyne. Is it smart to divide your forces like that? I don't have much of a choice, to be honest. Armadillo couldn't support a whole Legion reserve, but we can't leave it undefended. A couple hundred men will suffice. It sounds like a big responsibility, to have so many lives in your care. More than you can imagine. But I earned my way here. I've been serving in the Legion since I was barely of age. I worked hard to be where I am today. Well, I'm glad to be traveling with you. You at least seem to be honorable. Thank you. One can never have too many friends. If only everyone thought the same. True enough. Although you haven't told me much about your business, Amethyne. What takes you there? I'm to reopen the mountain passage between the Amethyne and the Five Islands. Truly? That would be a feat. The passage has been blocked for several weeks now. We believe Gareth's men were behind the landslide. I'm curious about that. Why would Gareth want the passage closed? Isn't that his only way to reach Amethyne? If Cain ultimately wants to take the city, it doesn't make much sense. While it's true that the attacks from Gareth's men have all but vanished since the landslide, Amethyne did still rely on them for trade goods. Now we're cut off. Couldn't Gareth just refuse to trade with you? Why completely isolate you? Traveling merchant caravans can still travel freely through the mountains, and Gareth can't hold them. That's technically Amethyne territory. Our legions can hold the high ground on that passage, and stop Gareth's troops cold, while still allowing passage for civilians and merchants. But now with the pass closed, the trade is cut off. Instead of salting your lands, he's trying to starve you out, or at least weaken you. Exactly. Even if it meant we'd have to continue fighting Gareth's men, it would still be better than having the pass closed. It's been a struggle to find a solution. Leave that to me. I have a plan. We'll meet with your king, and he'll determine whether or not it's worth carrying out. Fair enough. Well, I'm going to change out of this armor. One wrong move, and I could end up getting a first-person account of what the bottom of the sea looks like. Smart thinking. Stay safe, Sebastian. I'll let you know when we arrive. Alright, and away we go. Let's visit Amethyne. I don't think we're going to do too much else. We'll see. Welcome to Amethyne. This place is huge. Sienna seems so small compared to here. No kidding. Where should we start? I'll need to report to King Samson. You should be there for that. The palace is just past the city, beyond the north gate. I wouldn't mind taking a moment to rest and resupply. Our equipment is getting a little old. Amethyne is home to an extensive outdoor market. This district is where most commerce takes place, the residential district north of here. There are shops on the street as well as in the alleys, and you can always hear the latest rumors at the pub. And the locals are very friendly to tourists. It wouldn't hurt to stop and chat, get to know the city a bit more. I heard that Amethyne has a church dedicated to teaching the Celestials. Oh, what was the voice I used from? Is that true? You heard right. The sermons change from day to day, so it's worth checking out. If we have time, I'd love to sit in on a sermon. I might be able to learn more about magic that way. We're not in a rush. Let's get out and explore the city a bit, then regroup at the castle to speak with King Samson. I like rainy days. I get splashed in the puddles. Not afraid of getting wet, eh? That's good. The merchants could use the business. Alright, let's check the weapon shop, and here we go. Alright, we're gonna buy... Ooh, hold on. Hold on. We have about 4,200 gold, which is lots, but I'm gonna buy this heal tome for Gray, which kind of eats up all our gold. You seem curious about the spell tomes. Do you like to learn about them? No, because I know about them, and I've already taught you about them. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use this heal tome right now. So we're gonna leave Amerdala. I am going to grind up heal against some wild monsters up to level 2, and then I will be back. So I'm just going to pause the recording for now. Alright, Gray has learned heal too, so we're going to move on here, finish off this ghost, and head back into this city. Now, okay, so Gray has learned heal. I'm going to give him his staff back. Actually, no, I'm not. Because we're going to go over here. We're going to sell the tome back to this guy, as well as the staff, and even the sword, why not? And buy Gray a brand new lightning staff. And a robe, why not? No, I'm not curious about spell tomes. There we go. And he's looking pretty good. Alright. With the item shop, we can now get advanced stuff. That's good. And now we'll buy these. 2 daggers and a katana. And that should be good. Let's give those to Marissa and Fang. There we go. Excellent. Okay. We've got some more equipment we can sell now. Real quick, let's check here. Okay, so we could get a shadow cloak for Marissa if we can get enough money.
And we can get some gauntlets for Sebastian. So let's just sell our dagger, our katana, that kunai, and these clothes, and that should give us just enough to buy a shadow cloak for Marissa and gauntlets for Sebastian. Awesome. Alright. We'll sell the clothes, and we're good. Alright. Let's stop at the inn. Or the pub, I should say. Sebastian takes a seat at the bar. I'm gonna stay here for a bit. I'll catch up with you when we leave the city. The whole purpose of that is because, if you go over here, who's this guy? Huh? How'd you get here? I stowed away on the ship that brought you here. I'm surprised you didn't notice. You're good at staying hidden. What are you doing here? I have a series of targets here that need dealing with. I was going to handle them myself, but I suppose I could share a few contracts if you need some extra coin. Good to know. I'll find if I need work. Yes, well, don't take too long to make up your mind. If you're too busy, I'll just finish the contracts myself, and you'll have to find me at the sanctuary again if you want more work. Fair enough. So, this is that lockpick exploit I was telling you about. So, back at the sanctuary, we took a mission from, I think his name is Numbers, and we borrowed 99 lockpicks from him on the agreement that our cut would be reduced when we finished the mission. Looking for work? Yes. Sure. What have you got? Hold on, you've already accepted a contract. If you want, you can give me that contract and I'll give you a different one instead. Well, do you want to trade contracts? Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. What do you have? There's a target here in Amethyne. Excuse me. Who do I need to kill? An older fellow who took advantage of a man's daughter. Now the man wants justice, but he's too cowardly to do it himself, and we can't trust the Empire to take care of it. So I'm sending you. And for pity's sake, don't kill them in broad daylight. I've got enough work ahead of me bribing the guards to look the other way. It'll be much easier if you don't have to kill them, too. One more thing. I'll be here for a while, but I'm not going to wait around for you. If you can't finish the job before I leave, you'll have to turn it in to me at the sanctuary. Understood? I'll get the job done. So just like that, we still have the lockpicks we took from Numbers, but now we don't have to turn in the mission. We just have free 99 lockpicks, and we have a mission from Sanguine instead. I'm not going to talk to all the NPCs because there's a lot of people around here, but I will talk to the bartender. I'm not worried about anything like this, but he said, "Hey pal, I think you killed me with a bit of a bandit problem?" Bandits. What do you need? Lately there have been reports of travelers getting robbed on the roads between here and Mount Fulman. It's taken a huge toll on businesses in the area, mine included. Past 3 nights in a row I've had regulars showing up saying they got enough for more than one drink and that they were robbed by a group of bandits. If you ask me, it's about time somebody put those bandits down. You up for the job? Why doesn't the city guard handle this? Can't. They got no idea where their camp is, and no bandit would be stupid enough to ambush a group of guards. They only attack groups of 4 or less, and only if they think they can handle them. But you look like you can handle yourself, and you're young enough that you'd seem an easy target. There'd be a nice reward in it for you as well. What do you say? You want the job? Sure. Where can I find these bandits? Great. Just wander around outside the walls, and you're sure to find them. Look especially in places where someone might set up an ambush. Narrow passes, forests, places like that. Oh, one more thing. Last I heard there were 2 groups of bandits. You'll have to find them both. And be sure to bring back proof you took care of them. You got it. I'll be back when the bandits are dead. Alright, so... yeah, we're not going to worry about talking to the NPCs this time around, just because there are... dozens. Yeah. They all have interesting things to say, but it's... for the most part, it's just generic NPC dialogue. It's not anything... it's actually not that interesting. Some of them do comment on the current state of affairs with the passage being closed and stuff like that, and their dialogue does change. Whoa. That looks laggy. Something weird there. I don't know. Before we go into the throne room, let's just pop into here, because now we have the kitchens, and if we navigate our way through, get out of the way. Thank you. Found a potion recipe page. So now, if we go to our crafting and try to craft potions, we can do advanced medicines and advanced remedies, which require a blue herb and red herb extract. So 2 red herbs make an extract. The extract and green herb makes advanced medicine. So we can do slightly better potions now. That's good. Alright. I've returned, my lord. Ah, Sebastian.
I trust you were successful? Yes, my lord. Trade can once again flow freely between Amidala and Amethyne. I see. And what of Gareth's men? How did you deal with them? We eliminated the squad, but the sergeant leading them fled into the forest. I pursued him into the Caeli Grove, and he attacked me on sight. We'd only exchanged a few blows when these three showed up and helped me to kill him. I see. And who are your companions? Step forward. My name is Fang, my lord, and this is Gray and Marissa. We're traveling mercenaries operating out of Sienna. I wasn't aware that Sienna had a mercenary guild. It doesn't, really. After the village was raided, some of the remaining villagers fled or took on different professions. We decided to form a mercenary band. We're the only members. I see. I have no way of validating your story, but I can see you mean no harm. For providing aid to one of my captains in his time of need, you have my gratitude. My name is King Samson. When I served Emperor Leonardo, I was known as General Samson, the Honorable. Despite my previous position, I refused to serve Cain. You have adequately proven your allegiance, but your motives are still in question. I must ask, for what reason have you come to visit my lands? I'm here to clear the mountain pass between Amethyne and the Five Islands. As I understand, the situation, a landslide has prevented travel. Is that so? Your information is accurate enough, but I wonder why you would take such an interest in our affairs. For what reason could you want the pass opened? I've come to understand that Five Islands contain 2 port towns that receive much trade. For a small band of mercenaries, that could translate to mean good business. You aren't wrong, and I sense no malice from you. Very well. I'll trust you. But how do you plan to open the pass? We have been unable to do so ourselves. There's a man here who's capable of making I'm tripping over my tongue today. There's a man here who's capable of making explosives. If I can bring him nida powder from the peak of Mount Fulman, he can make the necessary tools. Truly. Well, that is still easier said than done. The mountains are home to many vicious beasts, and the steam elevator has been stuck at the top of it since the landslide. I am fairly confident in my skills. I can make it to the top. However, if you believe I am unable of making this excursion, would you grant me the aid of some of your men? You, a foreigner, would dare request my aid in a time of war, when Cain and his subordinates pose a constant threat to my lands and people. You have courage, I'll give you that. And if you truly are capable of this feat, it would be a benefit for all. Very well. I shall assist you. Sebastian! My lord! Accompany Fang on this journey. Yes, my lord. I will ensure survival. Thank you, my lord. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. Yes, well, don't waste it. Make sure you both come back in one piece. Now go. I have other business I must attend to. Sebastian, return here once you're finished. Of course, my lord.
Alright, so with that, we've got Sebastian on our team, at least for this mission. We have our objective. Did I equip everybody? Yes, I did. We are good. We've got a fair bit of medicine and remedies. That's good. Yeah, I think we're doing good. Okay. So, we're going to head down these stairs here because these are bed chambers that we can sleep in for free. No inn required. I shouldn't have done that. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to exit the game because the autosave should have triggered. Yes. Because we have a mission from the assassin that we took that mission from in the pub, but we want to do it at night. So let's do that now. We're looking for the old Lecher. He might be in the other part of town. I think he's in Amethyne South. Between it being nighttime and raining, the frame rate is pretty low. There he is. I see him. You, get over here. Why are you looking at me like that? You got something to say? May you find peace in the afterlife. What? Gods! Will he actually summon guards? Nope. Just him. I am going to use Marissa for this. Imperil leaves most enemies with 1% HP. Oh, you're kidding. Really? Aw. Mean. Now, the idea is that Sebastian is either hanging out in the pub or in the palace, which is why he's not in our party, which is also why he's not suspicious of us murdering someone in his city, regardless of who that person is. There we go. Good enough. Mission complete. Let's get out of here before more gods show up. Leave the village. Go right back in because gameplay. Oh, what time is it? 11:29. I think I have just enough time to turn this in before we would get kicked out of the bar. I don't know if it's open until midnight or 1 o'clock, but I think midnight. Yeah, and there's a lot more people here. Yeah, and there's Sebastian at the pub there. Absolutely. Don't ask about the bloodstains on our clothes. I'm back. The target is dead. Excellent. Hope you didn't encounter too much trouble. If you ever want another mission, let me know. Here's your payment. 450 gold. Nice. Okay. Now we're gonna go sleep at the castle, heal up our guys, and then we will save at the entrance to the city and call it a day there. And next episode we will take on Mount Fulman, and we may even do the following mission as well. We'll see. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, sleep in the bedchambers. Okay, good. Frame rate does feel a little bit smoother now that it's not nighttime or raining, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so let's save right here. And actually, now that we're in Amethyne, let's change our window skin, make it a nice, actually, yeah, nice like magenta. Why not? And we'll make it a little more imperial. There we go. Okay, and we'll save right here. And next time on Bloodstained Hands, we will take on Mount Fulman, clear the mountain pass, and accept our next mission. So until then, I will see you next time.